Well, what's wrong with you now? What are you talking about? Well, you're acting all crazy and everything. Well, it's getting cold outside. It's all wet. And I don't know what to think. Everyone's stressing out. My feathers are falling out. What's the deal? Well, calm down. Don't worry about it. Tree's coming on to talk about it. Hey, where you at, Tree? Hey, here we are. Here we go. Good morning. How you doing there? Hey, hey, Bailey, how you doing? You gonna join in today? Bailey was sitting up a second ago, right next to Mike. I don't know what happened to her. Hey, let's get rid of this stupid looking leghorn. I saw another hat I gotta get. Actually, it's a roasted chicken on your head that flaps around, but I'm not gonna spend $30 on a stupid battery operated hat. So today we got on my Sheridan Park Farms hat. If you watch YouTube channels, like I do, I have my own YouTube channel. Please, if you would, subscribe and like us, so you keep up with our videos and so forth. But Sheridan Park Farms out of North Carolina. It's Chuck and Chandra Lewis, and they have a farm there. They raise cattle, beef cattle, pigs and chickens and turkeys. Neat family and everything. Great show and everything. It's one of the ones I enjoy watching. They have some live episodes on Sunday night sometimes. They're really good, so you can key in and talk with them. They're real nice people. But that's what I like doing, in my free time. So you like my chicken over there in my back shoulder there? I got that from a Spring Creek feed yesterday up in Magnolia, Texas, over off of FM 2978. Yes, they sell Bailey's Brew Coffee. They have the chicken series and they have the horse series there. But that was a Purina display they had there, and one of the gals there said she'd save it for me. So I have it hanging up in my shop here, or in my studio and so forth. But I thought it was funny, So I've got that big, looks like a big Rhode Island red, which I love, So everyone's continually talking about their chickens not laying eggs. And people are fighting in one group. I left the group just today. Backyard chickens. I left the group. Forget them. Oh my God, they're fighting. People are fighting with each other, bickering back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't need that. So I left the group. It's just, it's a huge group. It's everyone from all over the world on this group, from every country and everything, and it's just, probably 50,000 members on there. It's huge. But like we came on today to talk about stress and chickens and everything. I deal with stress and PTSD, and that's why Bailey is a service dog. And like last night we were out to eat, and she helped me get up out of a chair. She does. So she helps me out physically as well. But I'd mentioned what we ate, but wasn't all that good. Gianna's Italian restaurant in Tomball, man, that was. No, I grew up with some good Italian food, mom and dad and everything. We ate a lot of good Italian food, and mom was a good cook too. And their meatballs are frozen. They probably make them themselves and freeze them, but they're steamed. They're steamed meatballs, and that's you need to brown them. You put them in a brand, you brown them and so forth, and then you can put them in your marinara sauce and cook them and everything, get that extra flavor. But theirs are just pure steamed meatballs that were pressed together real hard. They press it together real hard, and you get this really tough meatball. And it's just, no. When I eat a meatball, growing up, they were all light and fluffy. They were big meatballs, but they're light and fluffy. They were, they weren't crammed together, They were tasty. They were good, So it was really good. And their Italian sausage was so greasy. Had the worst indigestion all night last night, and which is it tells me it's a cheap Italian sausage, and this, no, won't be back there again. No. I had to say, for being a chain, I like Russo's New York Italian restaurant. I do. It's a chain, but it's good. I go to the one over here on 290 up of, what's that, Mason Road, there by Fairfield. Go there Fridays and hang out with Muncie. The manager is a really cool gal, and her husband's a veteran too. So check them out. I've had the lasagna, it's delicious. I've had their baked ziti, it's delicious. Their spaghetti, their meatball sandwiches are delicious. And their pizza's good too, yeah. And they gave me some tiramisu dessert to take home one day, and that lasted 3 days. It was so sweet, so good. They make it in house too. Real good, real good. Well, hey, let's get back on to the chickens. So everyone's freaking out online about their chickens not laying eggs. Well, chickens get easily stressed, very easily stressed, and they're very delicate birds, except for my rooster that attacks me on a daily basis. He receives a front end of a size 16 boot when he attacks me. He's a tough bird, but he keeps coming after me, and I just kick him, get him on way. It's to the point now where if I kick him and I hurt him, I don't care because I feed him, I take care of him, I give him good food, give him good shelter, and then you're going to go attack me? No. The only reason he's still alive is because he's fertilizing eggs. Otherwise, he'd be in a stew pot already. Because I'm not going to put up with that. But I'm keeping him until I get another one. But back to the stress. Chickens get stressed out easily. With the summer heat, we dealt with the summer, trying to keep them ventilated. People using misters and using fans and all this, and that. Some chickens seem to have more feathers than others. Like I know those New Hampshires I have, they're heavily feathered birds. I mean, I lost 3 this summer, and they are hot birds. But little things like removing the corn from their diet, like this time of year, everybody's like, oh, no, you can't feed corn. It's bad for them. No, it's good for them this time of year. It helps keep them warmer. It's a natural warmer for chickens, I'm going to give them cracked corn this time of year. I don't care what people think how bad it is. It helps keep them warm. So it's less stress for the chicken. Help keep them warm. So last week I posted up a picture of a house in Lafayette, Louisiana, which is 5 minutes from the Gulf of Mexico. And a woman had the whole coop covered with plastic, and the roof is covered with 2 layers of plastic with a tarp, blue tarp and clear plastic, and you can see the moisture between them. And I was like, oh, I'm no chicken expert. I'm not. I always say I'm not, but I know it's got too much moisture in that coop. And I mean, all that moisture can lead to respiratory issues and mold and mildew, and that's the worst thing you can do is have mold around your chickens. But yeah, that was like overkill. And I noticed people are doing it in this area as well. You see my coops, they're all open, wide open. Here, for instance, well, that's my newer coop. But I always post up pictures of it and so forth. Oh, there it is. This is one of my open coops. It's through and through hardware mesh. Have I covered it up yet? No, it's wide open. No. Now, I will admit, one side of it that faces the north side, I took a blanket, not a blanket, but like a sheet. I threw it over the side to block the wind. But that's it. I just blocked the wind. And I'm not covering up yet. Now, when the temperatures start dipping down to the 30s on a regular basis, I'll cover up those sides, but I'm still going to leave a gap on the top of it for ventilation. You got to have some ventilation. People are overdoing it. Don't overdo it. The chickens, I believe, thrive in the colder weather. They have feathers. Go outside. Like right now, the temperatures are dropping. I mean, what's the temperature right now? In the 50s? I think it is. It's 60 degrees here. The lowest low next Thursday, 51 degrees. That's not all that cold. I'm not going to worry about doing anything. But, if your chickens get wet and it's cold, that's not good. But when it does hit temperatures in the 30s and so forth, or in the 40s, go out your coop, pick up a chicken, and feel the outside of the feathers. You'll feel that they're cold, okay? You're like, ooh, my chickens are cold. But lift that wing up and place your hand up underneath the wing where it meets the body and feel how warm they are right there. And that'll tell you how warm they are. That's a fact. It will. Just like when your chickens are overheating and they're really hot, lift the wing up and put some cold compresses up underneath their wings to help cool them down. And once again, during this, the winter months and everything, if you want to tell how cold they are, lift that wing up, put your hand in there and see how cold they are. That'll tell you. I I've done that before. And I mean, week before last, when it got down real low, I did that, and the chickens were warm as toast. I mean, they're side by side in that coop, right up against each other. They're staying warm. So don't stress out over your chickens not staying warm. So I got a few of mine out there out in the chicken run right now. It's quite wet out there. Oh, come on, camera, work with me. Yeah, but there's a front of my other coop I just finished. There's a chicken cube, and the straws are not out in there, but the rest of them are all underneath in the run, staying dry, because it is wet out there. But I'm gonna turn that off. There's Miss Bailey. So last Saturday, Bailey passed her test and she graduated from service dog school. She's now officially a service dog, right, Bailey? Oh, Bailey. She's sound asleep over here. Thanks. It makes me feel good about my podcast that you sleep during it, you know? Crazy dog. But, excuse me. Let me get a drink of coffee here and make a difference. But, so I had, in my big coop that I always have in the picture of this one right here, that coop right there, and the chicken run, that'll hold about 40 chickens easily. From this picture, it doesn't look that big, but it is quite big. And in there, I had New Hampshires, a dozen New Hampshires, a dozen Rhode Island Reds, and a half a dozen Leghorns. And with that, I had 3 roosters of each breed. So you can just imagine the tension that was in that coop. So when the Rhode Island Reds and the Leghorns were little, I moved them together into a brooder, and then from the brooder, they moved into this coop. So they all kind of grew up together, but eventually the Leghorns and the New Hampshires and the Rhode Island Reds started picking on the Leghorns constantly. And the Leghorns were constantly running around the coop. The rooster was intimidated. He wouldn't crow. He wouldn't try to mount his birds or anything. His comb was nice and red, but he wasn't interested. He was stressed out. You can tell the birds were stressed out. And the hens were all, at the time, were 21 weeks old, and they weren't interested in, no, they were 23 weeks old when they were in there, the last time they were in there. And they weren't interested in laying eggs or anything. They were going up in the coop and sitting up there, but they weren't laying in the egg-laying nests. They're just laying in the shavings, you know, just relaxing up there, staying away from the other birds. That's what they were doing because they were being picked on. So when I finished that new coop and the big one I just finished, this one here, that's a coop number 4A and B, so it's separated. It's got a wall between it of hardware mesh. The left side of it contains my Easter egg and olive eggers, and the right side of it contains Barred Rock chickens that are laying green eggs where the barnyard mixes. And they're going to move over to the A side eventually, so I have all the have all the chickens laying colored eggs on that side. And the right side is going to be the New Hampshires. But until then, so I got to finish and everything. All those birds were in the one coop, and the tension was unbelievable. So my chickens were stressed out. The New Hampshires could care less, but the Rhode Island Reds were stressed out, and so were the Leghorns. They were. So I got the Leghorns moved, and I put them into coop number 2, where the Easter eggers and olive eggers were, because I moved them in the new coop. And now the Leghorns are in this coop in the picture, and they're thriving, and the rooster knows it's his coop. There are no other chickens in there but him and his hens. And now he's crowing. You can see he's got a little more spring in his step. He's just relaxing. He sits out on the perch out in the front. The hens, there's a perch outside on the front of it too that's covered by a little roof. And they all out there just relaxing, enjoying it. They're laying eggs now. He's crowing like there's no tomorrow. So the stress is gone for him. He's stress-free. The only stress he has to worry about now is if we get a really big cold snap. But, you know, as a chicken owner, I'm going to take care of them, and I'm not going to stress out over it. I can't afford stress. Stress is not good for me at all. But yeah. Oh wow, I just flipped that around. That's pretty neat. I learn something new every day. But that's where they're at. Well, that's pretty neat. I'm moving that picture around. So I have less stress in the coop number 2. So coop number 1 that has now Rhode Island Reds and New Hampshire's in there. There's still a little bit of tension going on in there, but the Rhode Island Reds have started laying eggs in there, the young ones. They're all laying eggs now, which is a good sign. And I think because there's less, I really think those white birds having, amongst a bunch of red chickens bothered them. And now those white chickens are gone. So they're not stressed out over it anymore. The barred rocks that were out in the front pasture, they were overcrowded. And now that I've moved 7 barred rocks out of that bunch, they're laying green eggs, moving them in with eastern eggers and olive eggers. So there's less stress on them in that other coop. So they're a lot quieter. Now the rooster's still attacking me, of course, but that's him being a rooster. He's always going to do that. But the hens are more relaxed. I'm getting more eggs out of them too. So if you're not getting eggs right now, everybody's saying it's molting. It's what you're feeding them. It's the colder seasons, less the light in the day, because it's a time change and everything. But no, I think it's just stress. It's you stressing out over your birds, and your birds sense it. You go out there and sit up there with the birds, and you pet them, and you play with them, and they can sense it when you're stressed out, just like my own service dog does. She knows when I'm in pain. I'll go into horrible nerve pain. I'll get this shooting nerve pain to a point where I can't walk. And I'm not even saying a word, and she's in my face. She's in my lap hugging me because she knows, she senses it. Just like your chickens sense when you're stressing out. They are. Your chickens pick up on it. So you stressing out from your job, your family, and your work, and you taking it on your chickens, yeah, it doesn't help them at all. The nice thing about having chickens is going outside and watching them and relaxing. But when you go out there and you're all stressed out and everything and pass it on to your chickens, yeah, I think it makes a difference too. But once again, do things for your chickens that'll help them out. Like I did. I moved my chickens around. I freed up space. They're not overcrowded. Adjusting their feed to the weather. Everybody doesn't want to feed corn because they feel corn is bad. Corn is the devil. You don't want to feed corn during the summer months because it's too hot. Well, don't feed it to them. But it's wintertime. Give it back to them. It helps keep them warm. It's a natural way to help keep birds warm. Well, hey, why do you think so many people feed it to their white-tailed deer? For hunting. Yes, it's an attractant. Corn serves no purpose for deer except it's an attractant. But there is another purpose. It helps keep them warm during the winter months. It does. Corn in their system helps warm up their bodies, and it does. It's not just an attractant. It's a way to help keep your deer warmer during the winter months. Just as it does for your chickens. Just as it does for your cattle. It does make a difference in them. It does help. You look at your northwestern beef cattle people, they feed corn. Oh, yeah. I mean, they may be grass-fed beef, but they're still feeding corn because, they're going into temperature soon of 0 temps and below. And you got to find out ways to keep those critters warm. I mean, they have shelters they have out during the summer months that they get underneath for summer, for shade. But during the winter months, they flip them over on the sides and they block that north wind. So the cattle get behind those shades and they can block the wind from them because they do get cold. So this time of year, they feed them corn. Just like you should feed your chickens. That's a great, easy way to keep your chickens warm is just feed them corn. That's not going to kill them. Yeah, they've been eating corn for years. Yeah. You want all natural? Feed them all natural feed. Feed them the Texas Naturals. Great feed. But throw some corn in there. Give them to them in a scratch. Yeah. I use Super Scratch. It's a company out of Super V out of Oklahoma, and they make a product called Super Scratch, which is my chickens love it. I brought it up here on the show before, and the list of ingredients are amazing. It's got wheat, it's got peas, it's got corn, it's got sunflower seed, black sunflower oil seed, and it's got you know everything the chicken loves, and corn, cracked corn. But it's got a flavoring to it, or I don't know flavoring, but it's got a scent to it. And I think it attracts them big time, and it's sweet. I think because it attracts ants during the warm months. But all those little things going around right now, it can stress out your birds. I mean, if your coop isn't fortified against predators, it's going to stress out your chickens. That night they're going to be waking up freaking out, stressed out, because something's trying to get to them, and that stresses them out. So that's going to keep them from laying their eggs. Anything they do to your chickens, can stress out your birds, and they'll stop laying eggs. I mean, just moving one chicken to another coop can stress them out. I didn't like moving my chickens when I did because of stress. I know they are, but I did it as gentle as possible. I tried to do it one bird at a time. I picked them up, I held them, I petted them, and I walked over to the new coop and I placed them in there. And they're going into a coop with other birds they're familiar with, or all their own same breed, So any little extra stress you give your bird is going to affect your egg laying, I believe. I really do. And they, like I said, they stress out very easily. But hey, this weekend, if it's not raining, Bailey and I are headed to Navasota to the public library for a little farmer's market over there. I think it's 10 a.m. till like 2. We'll be there if it's not raining. If it's pouring down nasty raining, we're not going to go. I got enough work to do here. A buddy of mine, Gene, came over this week and we worked on my knife shop. Yeah, I build knives too. And I'm going to start building knives again for Christmas and just continue doing it. So I got a knife shop in the back that's full of my mom's antiques from her house. And we actually cleared out an area where I can just work on knives, separate from all of mom's stuff that I want to sell in a garage sale soon. I hope to have it before Christmas. But I'm going to start building chef knives again, which I love building. Build a few hunting knives as well, but yeah, I love building chef knives. So I'm going to start building the chef knives next week. I just got a big coffee order from actually a campaign company out of Washington, D.C. And they order coffee every year for their customers. They order anywhere from 80 to 100 bags every year. They just placed their order yesterday with me. And then a store up in Anderson, Texas, Circle Star Firearms. I just delivered coffee to them last Friday, 80 bags, and they just doubled their order. So they're selling it really well, I guess. They must be doing good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So we're going to be working on that. So staying busy with coffee and knives. That's a fact. Yeah. So I know that November 30th, I believe, we'll be at Spring Creek Feed for the Christmas party. We'll be set up there, giving out samples of coffee for people to try. We'll have 3 or 4 blends of coffee for people to try out that evening. So I'll put that in the next podcast. I'll have a date for it and everything. I just had a peppermint in my throat, my mouth, and I swallowed it. That wasn't good. Oh, excuse me. Coffee made it go right down. Now I have indigestion because I got a peppermint in my stomach. Wonderful. Oh well. But hey, just relax. Take it easy. Don't stress out your chickens. Don't freak out over things. Go to Lone Star Chicken Care. They have a group. I think they got a page back up again too on Facebook, but they have a group. They have their own website. You can ask questions. Go to their website and ask them a question. Don't stress out. Don't go into these big groups, social media groups, and start asking questions because you're going to get a million answers. You know, some people are right. A lot of people are wrong too. And it doesn't help you out that you have a million answers and you're still trying to figure out what to do because you didn't get the right answer. Go to Lone Star Chicken Care and get the right answer the first time. They'll help you out. They really will. Next Friday, we got the return of Howard Davenport from Lone Star Chicken Care. He'll be back on. He's been busy. I've been busy. And he's going to come on and talk about local chicken problems and everything. And I'm sure he'll get into stress. I know he stresses out every day driving all over the country trying to fix everyone's birds. And like I said, a lot of those problems can be fixed yourself if you did it right the first time. Protect your chickens. Make sure your coops are well fortified. Don't use chicken wire. Don't use chicken wire. Chicken wire, it doesn't work. It won't stop a canine. It won't stop a coyote. You know, I've heard bobcats get through pretty easily too. But use hardware mesh, welded wire. That's what you want. That's what's on that coop in that picture behind you. That's half-inch hardware mesh, and that's a galvanized metal. When I got it, if I'd known they had PVC coated, I would have bought it because it's black and you don't see it. You know, that PVC coating is awesome. I have that on my new coop I just finished, which is the old shed. There it is right there. Can you tell there's hardware mesh on those windows or that door? You can't because it's black. It looks like it's nothing there. So that's pretty good. But hey, let me talk to you about something real quick. If you notice on the front of that coop are those two metal objects, those are egg-laying nests. The chicken goes inside, lays the egg, and it rolls back. And then from the outside, you walk up to it, you lift up the lid, and you collect your eggs. No poop, no dirt, no feathers, just eggs. Makes it a lot easier. Well, that's the brand called Best Egg Box, Best Nest Box, or whatever. Best Nest Box, I think it is. They're okay. But I love my Handgear Nest Box. And of course, I don't have a picture of it up. And I can probably bring up a picture of it real quick, though. I've got the Handgear Nest Box, which I adore. I love it. I got it before the Best Nest Box, and the only reason I got the Best Nest Box is because I got them for $100 a piece. I found a woman selling them. She was getting rid of them. She said they don't work for her, and they were $100 a piece. Normally they're like $250 a piece, so I bought them. Here we go. There's a Best Nest Box. This is the front of the Handgear box I have. That goes inside the coop. And then, let me see if I got a picture of the back side. I should. It mounts differently than the other one does, you know. I like how I mounted the, now here's the inside photo of the Best Nest Box. Let me bring this up. Inside the coop is that, you see that right there with the perch, and they go in there, that's inside the coop, okay? And then on the outside, you see this on the outside. It's that metal box, and you just open it up. The Handgear box, you can probably mount it the same way, but the back of the Handgear box is, you can push it open for cleaning. So you'd have to have the back of it exposed to get to it, whereas the Best Nest Box, you can't move the back of it. So you can just hang it on a wall on the inside of a coop. You can't do that with the Handgear. You got to leave it exposed. So I'm trying to find a picture of it exposed. I had a picture. Let's see if I got a picture of it here. Of course I don't. No. I did. I don't understand where my picture disappeared to. I delete them and they disappear. I load them on here. I had to load them somewhere, and they like disappear. This is crazy. That should be right here. Let me see one more spot. I'm probably in this bunch. Or not. Son of a gun. Oh well. But like I said, the hand gear, I have to say, is the best. It is. Now, there's some things like on the Best Nest box, there's two little tabs on the top that allow you to mount it easily up against the wall. And you can have the egg-laying nest collection on the front or the back, like you can with the hand gear. But I discovered that the eggs get hung up sometimes on the front of it, and I have to open up that lid and reach my hand in there and try to scoop up the eggs from the front side because they get hung up in there. But when you do that, sometimes there are chickens in there, and the chicken freaks out and goes flying out. It goes all over the place. It freaks out. Hand gear box, you can't reach in there to do that because what happens is you can, but that back that moves, you go to move it and it hits a chicken, and the chicken doesn't move, But it's one half the other, one half the other, They're both working. I'm not unhappy with them, I'm happy with the price I paid for them, $100 a piece, and they're doing what they need to do. Either one. I think you'll be happy with either one because no cracked eggs, no poopy eggs, which is a plus. It really is. I wish I had 2 more of them. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't matter which brand I had, actually. I would take either one. But probably hand gears would I lean towards. I wouldn't mind putting one on my bigger coop in the back. But I would have to redo the whole thing pretty much for it to work. Because I have my egg-laying nest towards the bottom, down below a perch. If I installed one of those, it would bring it right up below the perch, and they'd be pooping all over it, It wouldn't be getting into the egg-laying nest, but there'd be poop on the top on the metal, and you get enough poop up there, it's going to start rusting it out because that's what chicken poop does. But oh well. Have a great Friday. Stay dry, stay warm. Don't stress out too much over your chickens, because I believe they stress out too when they feel it from you. All right, go to Lone Star Chicken Care. Ask your questions there. Please do. You'll get the right answers right up front. You will. And you won't get a bunch of million answers from people that don't know what they're doing. Yeah. They think they do, but they don't. All right, y'all. Let me give her this picture real quick here. So I burned all that scrap lumber I had around that new coop. I burned it all last week. And my coop smells like barbecue pit now. All my chickens, they are smoked chickens, but they're still alive. So, yeah, quite a bit of smoke in the backyard, but I kind of made sure it wasn't going into the coops and so forth. But, yeah, it's really looking nice outside. A lot less trash. Cleaned up a bunch of vines. Planted a bunch more grass. Going to be moving my coop number 3. I'm moving that coop soon. And moving it up for the winter season up towards a fence line with the back of it facing north to block the north wind. And moving the poultry netting so it's all in rows. So I'll be moving it, like right now the grass is growing in the first row. And the next row over, it'll grow fast because of where it's at and the ground and all the natural fertilizers in it from poop and all that. It'll do good, I know. And plus, there's a mercury vapor light right there that lights up that ground, so it'll even grow faster then. That mercury vapor light works great for growing grass. So like not that kind of grass, but the grass that chickens eat, Yeah, that's great for that grass, yeah. I wouldn't know about the other, not me. Never have, never will. But no, yeah. So we're doing that. And I'll post some pictures of that from time to time. So I've been doing some videos, some short videos, and I do my shorts all the time on the YouTube channel. but I'm getting into more videos and so forth. If you want to do knives and leather work, I started a new channel for Lonesome Tree Designs, which is my maker's mark for my knives and leather. I didn't want to affect this channel by people that aren't interested in the knives and leather. This channel is for chicken and coffee, and I want to keep it that way. And if you want to see, and every once in a while I'll post pictures of me working in there, but if you want to see it, you need to go to the new website, the new channel, Lonesome Tree Designs, and I'll be posting up knife building and leather creating on there and so forth. I'll be doing that. So, oh well, y'all have a great weekend. I say stay dry, stay warm, stay inside. Only go outside when you need to feed your chickens. Don't stress out over your chickens. It's going to be all right. Feed them corn, keep them warm. Yeah. So, God, I wish I had people in the chat, but I don't have any people in the chat. Nope. Oh, well. Maybe next time. We're growing. We're getting bigger. Please like and share us if you would. We greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, Bailey. Bailey. Oh, there she is. Well, you want to say goodbye? You want to say hello? Up. She's going to come around. Here she comes. Come on. Come around. Here she comes. Come on. Come say hello to everyone. There she is. Oh. There she is. She's beating her tail on the desk. Yeah, about time. Well, there's my chicken buddy, Gene Kaiser calling. I'm going to get that right now. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.